this one, this is tough. It's, once a girl's got her claws on you, it's really tough. It's really tough to get out from underneath that girl, I admit. Radha Govinda's going to have to do something. So he went to Radha Govinda and he prayed, the small deities at the time. My dear Radha Govinda, please help me. If you get me out of this thing, I promise I'm not going to get entangled again. What happened next? I'm asking. Maharaj said, then the Sunday feast came. And Prabhupada was giving a lecture. Sitting on the asana, giving a lecture. And I was in the front row. And Prabhupada was roaring. You must be pessimistic about material existence. There is no happiness in this material world. And then I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned around, and there she was. And I went back in time too. I said, I know 439 Henry Street. I remember that temple room. God, during Sunday feast lectures, what to speak when Prabhupada was there? It must have been chock-up luck. Can you imagine people sitting knee to knee, And it must have been, 200, 300 devotees packed in that room, sitting knee to knee from different temples. And that girl, to get to the front row where you were, can you imagine what she had to go through? Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. And you don't think that Prabhupada couldn't see that here's this girl bumping and shoving her way to get to the front, to tap you on the shoulder? Prabhupada can't see that? Of course! He's an old Calcutta boy. He couldn't pull the wool over that. He couldn't pull the wool out of that old Calcutta boy. Can't, So Prabhupada could definitely see, this definitely must be his girlfriend. And he definitely gunning after my boy, So Prabhupada could see that. You must be, he said it again, louder. You must be pessimistic. There is no happiness in the material world. And David Mittermeier is listening. Yeah, listening. Yeah. And in the meantime, she's tapping him on the shoulder, a little harder this time. And he's like, watching Prabhupada, he's like, didn't even look at him. So, God, Premanandi, the end of the class, right? And everybody breaks up, gets up, and starts doing. And she goes out, and she goes, whoa, it's over. Well, what do you mean, sweetie pie? It can't be over. Get married, stay in a temple. He goes, it's over. And then he turned around and thank you, Radha Govinda. Very interesting story. Very interesting story. She made Chandramoli Maharaj a devotee too, incidentally. And Chandramoli Maharaj had some nice things to say about her too, And when I asked her, Ma, you made 34 devotees, senior devotees in the movement. Oh, what was I doing? It wasn't such a big deal. We were to everybody. Just like I was telling last night. I was a cook and a pujari, dabbled in book distribution, Other people were frontline men, but I was a dabbler, I was a stay-back man, and we were dabbling in book distribution, And we had fun, and everything was surrounded with book distribution. What's the matter with you guys, Be there or be square, The book distribution was what was happening, and the mission, and everything was geared, anything and everything was geared to it. But although anything and everything was geared to it, still there were some devotees that really liked their niche. And I was a pujari and I was a cook. And I really liked that. So that really was stuck in my brain. I passed out a few books and a few funds and a few shenanigans and buzzed by the cops and a few other things. We remember that. Scandals, stuff. That's the only thing you remember. 33 years down the line, you're only going to remember the scandals and the far-out things and weird, zany stories, Like last night I told Markandeya about, didn't I tell you the time I spent that Goodwill box with your father, overnight in the Kmart parking lot, far-out stuff, that you don't really hear very much, And as far as cooks, we got so much stuff. From the Bogle market, and whatever you got, you just got to use it, okay? And you never know what you're going to get for free or cheap the next week. You just better, whatever you get, you got, oceans and oceans of bananas or oceans and oceans of potatoes, sweet potatoes. You got to do something with them. So you got to know, what to do in your brain with so many different preparations, that you can make out of the same stupid thing to give the Sankirtan devotees enlightenment, And it was a fun game. We we had some fun. And the Sankirtan man would come back, oh, we're starving, man. The cook ran off to be with his wife at night. You know, damn, we're starving. No, you can't be starving. I ain't gonna like that. Let me put the Deities to rest. We'll help you out, you know. So I put Gornatai to rest, you know, and I would run in the kitchen, I would crank it out. You know, 45 minutes you crank out, you know, something for them. You know, Vaishnav fries, tomato chutney, you know, grapefruit, something fat, you know, and with, you know, some coconut chutney. You know, we do fastings. Every cook has got his fastings. You know, 5 minutes or less, knock it out, you know. Each preparation you can throw it, while you're doing something, you're doing something else, you know, you juggle, 10 pots at once, you know, with different levels of heat, you know, so that they don't burn. Well, yeah, everybody did. So I would knock out something. And Vaisheshika would say, hey, let's get the Suru, you know, he has to come down, you know, and join the party with the Sankirtan men. Yeah, it's a good idea. I would run up to the guru room on the 3rd floor, you know, and he would be in there, you know, and AC is on. This is August, okay? And it's baking outside, right? He's got the AC on, and he turned the AC on about 8 o'clock at night or something like that, and it's freezing, and totally freezing. He's got winter clothes or something. He's sleeping there. And then, Suru, we made some Vaishnav fries, tomato chutney, and some sherbet. Get out of here! Suru, we made some prasadam for the boys. No. Really? He would be down the stairs, run down the stairs and eating his prasadam with us. And tell the stories. What happened at the airport today? You know, how many slows did you rip off and this and that? And fun stories, you know, fun stories. Oh Lord, please send me another slow, you know. The boys would, Sankirtan boys would pray for them, you know. Hey, we got a nut, you know, coming down aisle number 3, you know, in terminal number 3, you know. Yeah, and then they would call the devotee ahead, you know, in the intercom, you know. And tell him, hey, there was a slow, and we hit him up, we gave him 2 books, you know, and he's going your way. And wham, you know. And I would give him another few books, we'll wrap it up, put it in your book bag, you know. So, you know, I forgot her name was some lady in the USO office. Her name was Rosie or something, I forgot her name. She used to break up sales all the time. So we would break it, we would wrap up the books and put them in the backpack so that, you know, Rosie or whatever her name was didn't see the books, you know. All types of fun. Oh, that was hilarious days, you know. And the Sankirtan would come back and tell you all these stories. Yeah, what happened next? Ooh, what happened next? And it was fun, you know. It was really fun days, you know. So everything, camaraderie in the temple means that. But everything was around book distribution with efficiency and empowerment. So during this marathon, if you took like that with you know, like bookmarkers, with contact Sankirtan, and you had the results, and the Sankirtan devotees come back at night and they give all their filled out bookmarks to the receptionist. And they're the ones that are keying in all the data, you know, and you'd be surprised. And they get the newsletter, you know, they get the newsletter. That along with Mahaharinam Day, like in New York, they had a Wednesday night Harinam and they had a Saturday night Harinam. And Saturday night Harinam was the Mahaharinam. And everybody and their brother and their sister and their kid gets out there with the strollers and everything. Everybody out there on the Harinam. And the householders were all primed ahead of time. They're all making cookies, they all made nuts and raisins, and they packed them up, and they had a mantra card. And, you know, the mantra card on the other side, the flip side, had a, you know, 3 pounds all, Govindas, all you can eat, you know, whatever it is, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever you want. And it was passed out by kids on the Harinam. Nobody can resist. When the little kid comes up to you and goes, here you go, and here's a cookie, or here's a cookie, you know, offered to, if they're not going to come to Radhalanyeshwar is going to them. You know, the cookies, peanuts and raisins or something. And a little girl, a little boy handing it out, you know, cookies or cupcakes or something like that, or, you know, how are you going to resist that? Duh, okay, kid, you know, of course they're going to accept it. And like this. And Buddhi Party Vatishate. And the householders, the ladies had backpacks, you know, with more cookies, more peanuts and raisins. And you just fill up the kids' baskets. Yeah. You know, so, and if they figure it out. Oh man, this Mahaharinam, we ran out of peanuts and raisins half the time. Damn, that means next week we got to make twice as many. You know, then you figure out, okay, who are we going to ask Who are we going to ask to make up the shortfall? You know, so they figure it out. And this way, the householders feel real good. Yeah, I'm connected. I go out in Mahari now, and I'm cooking the cookies, and I'm cooking the peanuts and raisins. And they package it up, you know, Thursday, Friday, in Bhagavatam class, they're packing it up. You got like a whole assembly line. You got like 10 people packing up the peanuts and raisins, you know, and it's assembly line. But the peanuts and raisins from the bowl into the packet bag, hand the bag to the next guy. Next guy puts the, you know, seals it and passes it on. And the next guy's putting the mantra card on top, and the other guy's stapling it up. And his only business is to staple. You know, put it in the pack, you know. Like this. And this way you got a whole assembly line, about 10 people, you know. Or the same thing with the newsletter. You got folding up the flyers. And they're folding up all during the Bhagavatam class. And this way it's really good. But this is what this preaching center should be all about. You know, you've got book distribution with Contact Sankirtan, and you've got Mahaharinam night. And everybody and his brother goes out. And then not only that, but the Mahaharinam night, you got 50-50, okay? 50% of the time you're leading the kirtan, you know, and chanting with the kirtan. And the other 50% of the time you swap with the book distributors. So they get a chance to chant, you know? They get a chance to chant. And you get a chance to distribute the books. Yeah. And the kids are kids now, you know, and their parents are still there, even if they're passing out books or something, the parents are watching the kids, you know, hey, how you doing? You need more peanuts and raisins, you know. You pull out your backpack and whoop, you know, fill them up, you know. And this way it's great. Kids are kids now. Kids are still going to be passing out the peanuts and raisins and the cookies, you know. That's it. Prabhupada cooking something, you know. This is big. It's actually big, and it should actually be done. That Saturday night Mahaharinam in New York was big. It would go down to Times Square, something like that. It was really big. Why not? This temple should do like that. And the Contact Sankirtan is big. You're actually getting from a few people to thousands within weeks, within months. This is really good. And you're reeling them in. They're actually going to be slowly cultivated and be devotees. And that's very good. After sales service. But this thing was really impressive to these people. I got your mobile number. If I have a question about this book, I can ask a question. And for a girl, sheesh, there's a girl on the other line of this mobile that'll answer my any question about this book. They're really impressed. In the material world, everybody's after to rip you off. You know? As P.T. Barnum said, there's a sucker born every moment, and don't give a sucker an even break. You know? So, yeah, in the material world, everybody's just interested in ripping you off for whatever they can get out of you. But you're actually, not only you're selling me the book, but you know the book inside and out because it's your favorite book. And you're going to give after sales service? You're ready to give me a mobile number I can call anytime, night or day, to ask a question about the book? That is impressive, you know.